that thing is bouncing around. Okay. Triple motor. I like that idea. Pat's over here loving his life. We'll just squeeze by. When you're doing this, you gotta make sure you put your safety Crocs on.
Our second story gazebo.
Try to see what it weighs.
It's not doing too much right now.
The boat's probably sinking. Next morning here. Beautiful day, no wind, so it's perfect time to do this. Here's the contraption. Since I never really got to show any of this when taking the engines out, so I'm going to do a little bit more of showing what's happening to put these suckers in. So here's what we got. This is a 44-foot long I-beam, or it might be an H-beam. Actually, I think it is an H-beam. Honestly, not really much difference unless you're an engineer dealing with steel, but an H-beam and an I-beam essentially are the same thing, just the flange is different and they're rated for different load capacities in different directions. We have a big heavy-duty shackle here that we welded on last year with a ton of passes to make sure she's nice and strong. Two big 3/8 chains with some big binders hooked to each corner. Because you're asking yourself, like, why so overkill? Well, this much leverage is what kills it. Sticking out this far, you get a lot of bounce, and you also just have a lot of flex with it being attached at one end. Like if you were coming out to here, it's not a big deal with the support in the middle, but we only have a support, I believe it's about 10 feet out, and then 35 foot of beam sticking out. So that's the setup. I understand fully that this is not how you would do this in the marine industry or anything like this. This is called getting things done where we just don't have that kind of equipment. We don't deal with these kind of size boats. Honestly, my boat is the biggest boat that's here in this marina, and we try to be as safe as physically possible, but we don't have $500,000 in equipment to do it. And you know what? This worked just fine with the equipment I personally own. Ooh, it's a warm day today too. So, as you see, pretty crusty machine, but you know what? It works great. Trying to maneuver this thing. You see, look at how much flex that has. And I'm currently not touching the controls. I don't know if you can see how much that thing is bouncing around. And being pivot steering, it makes it even worse. Because one little turn of my steering wheel here, I just turned the I-beam 10 feet down there. Also makes it very interesting for driving. Jim's over here helping me move stuff. Just paddling over an abandoned dinghy. Fortunately, somebody abandoned that bad boy during the winter, and we stuck it here. But the plan is we're gonna get the boat and back her up right here, and then try to drive that sucker right around. And I'm hoping I have enough room to swing and work my way back and forth right here. So that worked out pretty good, guys. Just wanted to get it lined up first, and we gotta drill some holes. It is time for the beam to be inserted. Well, not all 44 feet of it. All about 35 feet of it to slide it right on in. We got our mounting holes all drilled, front and back. We got my docking headsets, because last time we used cell phones on speaker and that was just horrible, to be honest. So these actually work amazing, as you've seen with us putting the last stuff in. Step inside. I do got a little stand up going with a fan because it's getting hot in here with stagnant air, so not a breeze at all. But it's very nice to do this because the boat's not moving around. So we got this beam all rigged up, supported by every stringer, the hull, everything, and then supported by the floor in every direction so it can't lean or twist or move. And then the same thing in here. So Jim's gonna be in here with a camera, kind of trying to guide me in, and we'll see what happens. Last time it was chaotic. We had a little too many people trying to come and help and give a hand and give some input, and it was a little too much, too many people. I think it might actually go a little bit easier just with the two of us. Plus, we kind of know what to do now, so. All right, not really a good spot to put you guys in the cab here, so I'm gonna mount you up here. Got the headsets on, Jim can hear everything I'm saying. We'll see what happens.
Once down, never been out. Once high, but never drowned. Once taught, but never been told. Once risked, but never bold. You never look back and you never turn around. You don't stop driving till the sun goes down. Woohoo, alright, it's gone, baby, it's gone. You gotta get free and turn it up. Open your heart and fill it with love. Woohoo, alright, it's gone.
Yeah, it's just hitting the wood now, so you're starting to pivot on the wood. If you can tilt it up real slow. Yeah. No, just, you know, your dump, go up with the dump. Yeah. We might have to move the boat. Okay, right there, stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go loosen that rope. I'm gonna loosen that one, so then we can move the boat this way.
Too bad my dad didn't have this out. We could have just pulled it before. Hey, I might have it in here already. I got it hitting the beam right now. Is it okay? Well, I'm about 3 inches away from the beam now. I had it tight to it, but... Oh yeah. Almost on it. If you were in here, I could almost lift this thing on here.
That post going off the boat.
You got there, you're up. Now, oh, you're hitting the roof though. Come down a little bit. A little more. Okay, try to go ahead. Just slow. Just touching off. About another inch we need. Okay, stop there. You open a little tiny bit, yeah, and then okay, drop it now, see what happens. Okay, you're pretty much on, this one's up now.
Oh yeah, somehow it's full-blown hovering up here, eh? That's wild.
Yeah.
Definitely get one of these on. Yes. Whew. Shirtless time, because it is hot. We're gonna try to slide a water tank down in here quick though. I carried it in here.
I got this side, just watch the other side. I got this piece of it.
Yeah. Water? Yeah. One more piece in the boat. And that's where that goes. Space saver. Let's save some space down here for some big motors. Fortunately, don't have much battery left, but we're gonna get these I-beams in there. Got this thing on the charger, so I'll see what I can film after. Alrighty, so that is all set up. Very well supported. I-beam is in. This side is done. Jim's over here just figuring out some shackles because we're getting ready to put a transmission in. Got this all set up. The plan is we have the transmission on a skid. We're going to try to slide it in here with forks and just hook up to this. That's going to be the plan. I'll show you what we got going on out there. I'm over here being so cautious with the grass, and Tommy, you know it was you in my Bobcat. Good thing we're going to be rolling the grass, getting it all fixed. Make it look beautiful again. So here's the plan. Strapped to a skid. Got the bigger loader with the long fork. So I'm going to hook this pretty much right at the end of the skid and just reach in there. As you can see, it's got a pretty good reach for being able to, because you're thinking that height plus another 3-4 feet, it'll easily reach in there. We only need to reach in, I think it's like 4 feet, so should be good. Worked pretty good. Looks like he's ready to go down a bit.
Hey, you're done.
She's hanging?
Yeah, it's hanging.
Heck yeah.
Want me to roll it out of the way?
Oh yeah, I guess so, eh?
Oh, geez, I have to go higher.
You're just gonna have to go higher? And as easy as that. Jim said he wanted to go to the gym today. I said, don't worry about it, buddy. I got you.
1,000 pounds.
This is what a 1,000-pound curl looks like. Fortunately, the engine still weighs 5,000 pounds. Stand there, slowly but surely. Got all the I-beams sitting in place. We're gonna throw some bolts in for the time being. You can see those notches that we had to do. We're gonna set something up to try to set both transmissions here for the time being. So this way we can mate them up, because we still have to build mounts. Jim, no more.
Yeah. Let's see if you get in there, right?
Second one was in so fast, barely even picked up the camera. Like, that works so easy. Here, let's see. Oh, tons of clearance. Way easier than an engine. Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Perfect.
Perfect. We're gonna lower this one down and that's it for today. Move the boat back and it's about all we got. Quick little update here. Lauren's out here getting the hose ready because I'm doing some plumbing. Transmissions are still sitting here. I got all hands on deck. I got Jim over here. Jim's hating his life. We're trying to get all this. Pat's over here loving his life. Pat, what are you doing?
Stroking Brandon shaft.
Just weird, but unfortunately, that is what he's doing. Because of all the glass work and stuff, we are trying to get this cleaned up, get any resin that dripped on or anything that's just on it cleaned up, so we can get the couplers on and made it to this surface. So that's what's going on, and I'm over here dealing with shark bite fittings. If anybody's ever dealt with those, they cost $1 million, but they're very nice to work with. So getting rid of all of the old connections and things like that. And doing the setup like this. For the people that live in the north and have to winterize their boats sometimes, this is what you gotta do. You put shutoffs for water in and off, or in and out, sorry, and then a crossover. So this way when you want to winterize and flush them, you can shut the water off and allow the water to just flow. But when you're not winterizing, you just turn this guy on here, or sorry, turn that off, and then turn these on, and then it allows the water tank to flow through. So nice thing to have, nice feature.
Or your safety, hey dudes.
All right.
What?
Spin me right round. Here, you want to put it gently down. Open the door. Careful. Chris, you want to do it by myself?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right there. And
Side end's going that way, you said?
it's gonna, we'll swing it in and then around, but I'm gonna put a safety zip tie on it.
This should be like a sponsored ad.
Now,
You can use zip ties for anything.
no matter how hard you try, it won't fall out of there unless you somehow snap the zip tie even though it has no load on it.
I'm holding it. Do I go out on the other side?
Okay.
Yeah,
You
just
got
go.
it?
Yeah, I got it.
Down. I'm gonna have to probably go down more with the chain fall.
You got it?
Yep.
Call me one.
Alright, hold up there for a second. And guys, this is pretty much how, as you can now see, things go from left to right, port to starboard. You use the I-beam up top to hold bottom I-beams, and that's literally how I was able to slide everything left to right, and the same way I'm going to do it now. Hold up. Loosen it a little bit. I got more room here. Go this way. Okay, right there. Now,
Crank it up.
yep.
Alright, I'm feeling tension.
Get it a little more snug. Okay, right there. We got that set up like that, holding this I-beam. And then it's squished up against the ceiling in 3 spots. And now you can essentially pick this up on a roller, slide it over, and drop it down. So that's step 2 out of the 20-step things that has to be done. But have to move some things around first. Kind of got a mess going on because, as you've seen, we had 3 people in here doing different projects. I just finished getting this put mostly in place and turned on, so trying to get some hot water, and we're gonna see about getting this thing moved. Well, it's the next day, guys, and as you've seen my buddy Pat stroking the shaft, now we got Jim doing a very important step. Mind you, cleaning up the shaft when we were joking around with him stroking it was definitely an important step for this, but This is what you really need to do if you have, in theory, I would almost say anytime you do something like this, probably a good idea. It's kind of like having your valves out in your engine, if you're familiar with that. What you do, this is actually called valve lapping compound. And as you see with Jim, just got a whole bunch of valve lapping compound on here. And he will slide that over, and you can see this one. It's all cleaned up because we did already do the one side. So he sat here. I don't know how well you can see because it is cleaned up. But essentially, smear that stuff on there, push the coupler on, and you just spin away. You work it back and forth, and you want to sit there and do it a couple times. You sit there and just rotate, work it back and forth. And what it will do is it'll mate the two surfaces together as close as possible. Just because they have a keyway, essentially the keyway isn't what actually holds all the torque. It's the pressure of them clamping together. Two tapers clamped together is what holds it. Yes, you do have a keyway as well, so if something actually failed, you would be relying on the keyway. If you didn't have that clamping force, it would chatter on that keyway and actually start to wear down or snap the keyway. And it sucks to do.
Oh yeah.
Right, Jim?
Oh yeah. No, of course.
Especially when you're dealing with stuff the size of this. Like, this is the size of the shafts, right? We're talking 2 1/4 inch shafts. Probably a 30-pound coupler. So, figured I'd let you know what's happening now, because that is a very important step, as these are brand new couplers I did have machined. First time that they have ever been lapped to the old shafts. Would you look at that, guys? Because there was a bit of swearing and frustration and what the heck are we doing and thinking, it was kind of hard to video. So since I learned on what was happening on this one, when I go to do this side, I'll get some film for you. But essentially, boom, couplers lined up. We got 2 chain falls and a ratchet strap. The ratchet strap helped pitch the trans this way. So as you see, these aren't welded on. There's no weld. These are pretty much cinched tight down to here. We have the adjuster set halfway, so I can go pretty much down an inch or up an inch. So that's for all my adjustment that I need to make to allow that to sit perfect. As you can see, she's actually in there pretty darn good. There's not even a bolt squishing it. Because it's a machine fit, it's sucked in pretty much nice and tight, and it just kind of clamped itself. And you can see here. So this is, we're gonna tack this all. And again, these are set halfway, which you do want to double check. Actually, it looks like I can. So it looks like I can actually get this one a little bit looser, or go up a little bit more to match the other one. There, that looks a little bit better. So you can screw these to close the gap or to raise it. That's how you get that shaft alignment. With this now being clamped tight, I can weld this plate onto here. So you can see the gap's perfect. Nice area to weld. And these are sitting nice and straight on the I-beam. Tack them up on the boat just like everything. Bring them to the shop, weld them fully, and then send them out to be powder coated. This beam is fully mounted in. Actually, no. This, the fun of stainless, we galled this threads. Even using lubrication, everything, she seized on there. And I don't have anything to cut it off right now, so. But the rest, all 3 of these are in. That side is all in. You can see what we had to do. We got to go backwards because of our notch out for the engine. The foot, or the rubber isolator, that's going to sit down in this. And that's one of the big reasons we had to make these so custom made, because of the set of gears that I have. Unfortunately, it's not what I wanted to do, but it's what I have, and I'm making it work. And it's as simple as that. So the engines are actually going to be sitting about 1 degree tilted in. lower center of gravity, but I would rather not. So I'm actually looking for a different set of gears, and if the future I ever find it, I might change this all out. So we got this one here sitting on some 2x4s. We got a ratchet strapped in place just so it can't fall, and sitting down decently on the floor like that. And with this same beam, we're essentially going to slide this guy over. Made it up to the coupler right there, and do the same thing as this side. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. So what you can kind of see us doing is trying to get that perfect. At least perfect to the eyeball for now. That's where, once the mounts are built, we have the adjustment, we can fine tune it to be perfect. But we also need it to sit perfect this way. And that's where measuring off of here and kind of finessing it, what we're doing with the 3 chain falls, using it as like a claw, we can adjust either side to get it to sit nicely. So just like that. I make that sound simple, but it's not. It took a lot of measuring, a lot of planning. So I don't know how well you can tell, but that is sitting pretty darn good. I'm not worried about the left and right. I'm essentially worried about how that flange is sitting this way, because this way I still have almost infinity adjustability, because this can move up or back, which will cock things this way or that way, but it's the up and down. So right now you can see got things just like the other side lined up pretty good. So we're gonna tack these all in, and these are set halfway. So I still have almost that, I think it's 3/4 to an inch of adjustability up and down, which does not take much to make that gap there perfect. So having 3/4 of an inch of an adjustability up and down to fine tune that little angle is quite a bit. So that's why I got it dead nuts in the middle, and we can go up and we can go down. And we have tried to take the droop out of the shaft, because you got to remember that shaft coming into the boat, not much is holding it, so it's going to want to droop a bit. So you got to try to get it back up straight. It's kind of hard. You kind of fine tune, play with it. I don't even know how to explain how to figure out where that droop is gone, but you do need to kind of hold it up until you feel that the droop is gone and it's not wanting to sag. Gonna go flush on the back like that. Same thing here. We'll go flush on the back there, so that this way the mounts are sitting as far back as possible. And that's about how it looks. And then the engine will sit in here. And the mounts, front engine mounts, in those areas there. I'm gonna get these tack welded together and go from there. Here's a little bit of arc welder this time. Back in the shop, guys, getting these set up. Got them on the nice wood skid just to be up off the ground. A little bit of a fire hazard, but I think we'll be all right. As you can see, just some quick tacks, nothing fancy, nothing pretty, but holds it in place. So got the welder set up, working in some of the AC, trying to set up another AC in the shop, but we got to get these guys fully welded so I can get them sent off to powder coat. So that's the plan. Definitely not a welder. I think this should hold though.
Set my soul
think if those break, the boat's probably sinking. So there's some things cleaned up, ready for powder coat. So down here, this is the weld that I put in. So I'm pretty happy with it. This is all the factory stuff. There is a little bit of corrosion on these plates, so it is what it is. Can only do so much, right? But I'm happy. Over at the shop, guys, going to show you the game plan that we got going on. As of now, the engine is pretty much a low rider. So we set it up where you can now use these two pieces of C-channel to slide forks into. So the plan is going to be to slide some forks into here, pick the whole thing up, drive it over to the side of the boat, and hook it to the I-beam. And then we can unbolt the stands, pull the loader out, and the engine will be sitting in there. Me and Jim, we have decided to try to get rid of the turbos. We were doing some measurements and it's close. So instead of screwing around with it at the boat where it's getting warm, we're gonna do it in the shop, pull the turbos off, and get everything just an easier state to be able to try to slide these engines in. So that's what we're doing now, getting some shop stuff done. It is crazy how small it looks with both the turbos off. Maybe for you guys in picture, the thing is still as tall as me, but with no turbos on compared to this, because the turbos on the Cat sit so far out on both sides, it makes it look so much bigger. With no exhaust and all your air filters that sit here, when you take that all off, the package is a whole lot smaller. We are going to leave the gauge cluster, the panel and everything on for now. That's something we'll determine when we're at the boat trying to slide it in. Should we take it off? Will it fit? Will it not? Things like that. That's just a couple bolts, pop it off. Jim's killing it though, eh Jim?
Yeah, it's coming. Tomorrow we're gonna put them in.
That's the plan, guys. At least one. He said they, but maybe just one. So here's the game plan. We got Jim, Tom here, right?
Yeah,
He's excited. He doesn't like the camera. We have it set up. I'll go show you. So this is what we did. She set up on a big set of forks on the loader. We got 2 ratchet straps here just to help with it wobbling. This way we can just reach in there and stick her in. And we're gonna hook this up to the rollers. Got the headsets on. Let me tell you, these things, what a game changer it makes doing this stuff.
I'm on any motor, you're good now. I'm clear.
So this is where
This we need to get in here.
Yeah. So we'll have to. This is where the little chain fall.
Can you try to drive forward with it a little bit?
Yeah.
It's gonna spin on that, right?
Try to spin because we got play there, eh?
Yeah, it's gonna spin there, and maybe it'll come real close to us.
We could also, if I can go forward enough, we can move the boat.
Move the back of the boat now.
Yeah. I'd rather just come forward with it. It might pivot itself.
You can go all the
Take
way.
that line off, Dad, there.
Huh?
That line that's hooked up right there on that pole, unhook it. Just in case.
Oh, you gotta bring the boat up.
Okay.
No. Tie that over there. Loosen it up at least.
I'm gonna have to run an extension cord, so we can probably get some light. We'll grab the two small chain falls from here.
Yeah. Each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll
Try to pull it into a V, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. Floats or something.
What do you go grab? Power. Oh, there's this extension cord here.
You got one on there?
Yeah, this giant one.
Or is that the one right there?
If we would have
Put this down here, and that up and around the beam.
Oh, is that threaded in all the way?
Well, we just undo this and we can.
Yeah.
I got it.
I just wedged it.
I got it here. You got that?
But you'll technically have to.
No, you'll have to go a lot and pull it this way.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right?
So
Then
you
we go
can actually
down.
loop it off, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, that's what I mean. I gotta go
It's
down a
wedged.
lot.
No, it's wedged in here.
Pins right
You
up.
want to go in there and we'll put the headsets and you can try to lower it a little bit.
See what happens.
And see, I'll watch the
Yeah,
forks.
you got.
Yeah. I'm clear. You could tilt it down a little bit, you know, this side. Try to tilt it down a little bit, that little tilt. Now back up.
2 feet when
I know, but look at,
because like this fork is very much on still.
no, only the bottom. Look at, I got clearance all the way through. Look at. This side too. It's right here, Brent. Look at. Feel
No,
this.
look, that's what I mean. I
It's,
gotta go
it's
down
wedged.
a lot.
No, it's wedged in here.
Yeah, you had to go down more.
When you put it in, they wedged in.
On this backside.
That's why I need a bar to pop it out.
Oh, good luck.
I know.
Over here though.
It's this plate that's wedged in. Yeah,
Jim?
in between.
The trolley's leaned up against the bolt right here on the
Yeah, I know. That's what we're trying to get this side out. Oh, the blade's just fucked. I can't get through it. I only got a little blade. Fuck welded this so good.
So guys, it was a late one last night. I finished up here at like 11:30 plus working all day, so it was a long day. This is where we're at for today. The structure set up, everything like that. It's a mess in here. Got chain falls, socket sets, even a full-blown skid still in here, my vacuum. The wall is up. And this is where my engine is currently sitting. We took off the brackets last night for what we used to pretty much fork it, we'll say. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but we will clear with probably an inch or two, which it was a lot of measuring and calculating to make sure it would work. And we have this sitting like this. And you can see that is how much clearance we're working with, right there. So you want to talk about measurements to make sure that this thing will slide in there with ease. Even that extra cutout will allow for my panel box, which I did take half apart, and it's hanging here on a zip tie and a wire. Thinking it was going to have to come apart, but it will be good. And this side, tons of room. So with 5,000 pounds hanging off the back deck on the port side, this is kind of what you have to do to compensate for it. We got 4 55-gallon drums, except this one is only a quarter full. And we have one still on the back deck on the swim platform. And it's time to cut this stuff all up, get it cleaned up, get all these tools cleaned up. We're going to take down the temporary wall. We're going to get this bad boy inside the boat and hovering over the hole and put the wall back up. That's it for today. There you go. It actually slides in pretty easy. Like you can see, you just put a little tension on there. Oh, the sunlight here. Like a couple clicks of the ratchet strap, and she's already rolling. But I set up the strap this way it doesn't want to roll back. I have some vice grips in the very back there that every foot or so I go and clamp front and back. This way, if anything is happening, it doesn't want to fly forward, fly back. So essentially, just slowly ratchet it, keep it coming in, and as I'm doing so, I'm gonna have to start transferring water left to right. What I think I'm gonna do, set you guys up on a time lapse and start doing it. I'm just by myself today. My buddy Jim might stop in. You'll see me kind of in and then take off because I'm going up front and draining my ballast. So this way, as the load is getting transferred to my starboard side, I can start adding load to the port side, or weight to the port side, I should say. I'm gonna start getting to work. Just want to show you guys the kind of tolerances we were dealing with. Like I said, we are that close up there, but it allowed for at least 2 inches down here. And at this point, this is where I got to go to the bow and grab a battery here and start draining my ballast. This is what I got going on for the front. So we'll get this guy clipped in. Just like that. Draining some weight. Once I get one of these empty, I'm actually going to put it on that side, and I'm just going to start transferring water from one to the next. About a little over 2,000 pounds placed here and there of water really helps with moving that 5,000 pound engine. Because this 2,000 pounds is so far to the edge, it actually does a lot with the 5,000 pound engine, or roughly. I forgot to weigh the last one, so before I put the second one in, we will be weighing it. So doing something like this, I was able to get it good chunk about 1/3 empty, so I could slide it. Now, just to make life easy, filling that barrel until it's about half full, and I can really slide it, and I'll slide it up to the front. And with these two on that side, should give me a good amount of weight to get the boat back balanced and move the engine in some more. We'll just squeeze by. So I've made it this far in probably about 20 minutes because it's slow and steady wins the race. But something I did not think I was going to run into. This engine has this, and I'm sure we can see what's about to happen here. The only nice thing is, with just my thumb, I can literally push that to clear. And I just need it to clear this one side. what I'm gonna do, grab a little ratchet strap, hook it from that eyelet up to this to tilt the mortar, and hopefully should be able to sneak by. She's currently floating over the living room now, right over the hole where she's got to drop into. But now we got to play the game of make space back in here. We got 2 1-ton come-alongs just on one end, so that's more than enough holding power. And then we're going to try to stick the good old, I think this is the 3-ton or something like that, a 3-ton cheapy V-Vor, but that's what I can afford. But still, what is it? Yeah, so it's a 3-ton capacity. Really not worried about 2 of those. I'm going to use 2 of those to drop it down, but I got to get the space in order to be able to hang that thing. That's what I'm doing. Slow and steady, just little by little, one side at a time here. Daisy chaining a couple big shackles together. I'm going to do this side, then jump to that side, and then come back to this side, and whatever it takes to get approximately a foot to be able to sneak that guy in there. Maybe a little less than a foot, but something close to that. So far going pretty smooth, and everything will fit pretty much right down in here with ease by the looks of things, so I'm pretty happy with that. I swear though, they might end up taking over the world when it comes to tools, or just non-professionals like me trying to buy things to make it happen. Quick little update. This is what I had to do to kind of sneak it by this lip, which unfortunately I really wish I would have cut this a little bit further and then out, which if I would have known, I would have done that, but that's the scenario I'm running into. Actually going pretty good considering I left the floor sitting here and I'm actually able to sneak it down. Didn't even really come close to hitting anything over here. So my game plan is I'm going to keep lowering it down on this angle until about the head right here, where the valve cover technically is level with the top of the ceiling of the engine room. At that point I'm going to scoot it back this way and lower the front, because currently the front water pump, the raw water pump, is over top, so I need to go down and in. But with these guys it's slow and steady, but these go down nice and easy since it's only at like half, if that, for capacity. So it's little bit by little and then snug it this way. So the next day, guys, it is a hot one out. Just finished setting up a stand-up AC unit to try to help cool this area off. Got the engine lowered down, and I wouldn't say in place, but it's down into the actual engine room. And now what I'm doing is I'm actually going to go build some beams to try to pick this engine up and slide it sideways. I'm building something to be a little safer and just a whole lot stronger than what I did when I removed the engine. So that's what's going on. I'll bring you outside and show you the beams that I'm building. So this is what I got going on. Just cut up this one. So you can see, cutting out the top, actually this is going to be the bottom flange, sorry. So this way what I can do is I can run a support up with this flipped upside down, this being the top side. I will have pretty much a ledge for it to rest on. And in the process of doing this one, so this way I can run a support up and down here. I'm going to drill some holes through here so I can bolt something to it, whether it be wood or a piece of steel. Haven't quite established that. I might just use, honestly, a wood beam, like a 4x4 on a side or something like that. So now, besides for cleaning it up, that one is done. Get the angle grinder, clean up some burrs, but that saw does do a very nice job getting rid of most sharp edges. And that saw is the definition of the right tool for the right job, considering I just cut this beam in half and cut all this out in a matter of maybe 10 minutes, and even started cutting right into the flange and it was still going through it. Some very exciting news and some not so good news as well. Might have to do some modifications, but guess what, guys? Boom. Oh, Brandon, that looks basically the same as last time, but right there, all of the weight is down below. I'll hop down there and show you. So as of right now, we got the very expensive, super durable, good flex 6x6 stacked on 2x4 for engine vibration. All right, no, obviously I'm just joking, but it is sitting down on some blocks down in here. Behind me is where the engine has to go. Now that it is sitting down on place, I just got some blocks onto this stringer here, but like I said, it's loose. It is now sitting here. So what I can do is I can now set up the next set of I-beams that run from port to starboard. Try to get some things cleaned up because it ended up being a bit of a mess trying to move things around and stuff like that. But it's kind of nice to see what it'll look like. Fortunately, two different things. I've been by myself all day, so trying to film this was impossible. And let me tell you how sore I am, because I've been climbing up and down this probably a million times, because the amount of adjustment you had to do with the ratchet strap to tweak it like this and then go all the way up there just to lower a come along 2 inches to drop back down here to crank a strap. Oh, it's been a long day, way longer than I was expecting. So at this point, this is what we got going on. I got the transmission mounts all made and powder coated. Big thanks to Ron for getting those powder coated for me ASAP, because they are needed. I need them in order to stabilize these transmissions in order to start moving things, so it was a much needed thing. I couldn't put them on yet because I have to lift these up in order to get the mounts back on. As you see, the bolt holes are down here. I really wanted to try to get the beams that are going to sit on the ceiling. I was really hoping to drag them in today. I might try to just drag them in here, but we will see. It's been crazy. I guess another thing too is I've been dying of heat today because it was, I think, like 87 outside, and which isn't too bad with the breeze out, but inside here it was just brutal. So I got that stand up rigged up, that stand up rigged up, and another one in the front, a smaller one rigged up, just because I don't have my main salon AC hooked up. Biggest reason is it goes right where that 6x6 beam is. And because of having to climb up and down that up and down, I really don't know if I want to try to tackle dragging these things in right now. I did, however, get them over to my dock. You can see I did label them. This is going to be the front one. And I just realized it's sitting backwards for what makes sense to stuff it in. Thankfully, it's actually not that bad outside. It's actually quite nice now. All the shiny parts. Look at that powder coat. Man, does it look good. Very happy with how things turned out. Really happy with the welds. I did take my time to try to make those welds look very good, but also be extremely strong. And considering I welded it all the way around, it's definitely not breaking, I can promise you guys that. Currently the next day afternoon, it's not even during the day anymore, Matt came to help. I don't know, oh, there he is. And it's a hot one, so we did a lot of kind of getting things outside set up and figured out. So we waited till the afternoon and got the 2 beams in. So you can kind of see what has to happen to make this all happen. Let me tell you, it is a lot of using that chain fall. So we have the 3-ton chain falls, which are going to be hooked to the main beam. That one we got to switch out. And we're going to use the big 3 tons that are hooked to the welded on hooks. And then on the ends, coming down to this stringer, which I know is solid because I rebuilt them all, we're going to lay a board down along the whole edge, and we're going to reinforce it by coming up and drilling through here and bolting something together. And I might actually lag through this way so I could cut a 4x4 that almost fits perfectly in between these, so they don't try to taper in or do anything weird. And that will be the framing to pick this up and get it over here. The middle I-beams that it's supported on, unfortunately, I had to do this for the last one too. You actually have to unbolt them, take them out, so this way you have the height clearance to come over, because you only have so much height there. The engine's only sitting down past this stringer maybe 2 or 3 inches, but it would have to come over this, which we just don't have the room with the beams in place. Let's get in there. It'll be nice to get this engine over. My goal is actually to get this one over within today and tomorrow, so I can Tuesday try to put the other engine back in here. Whether that's gonna happen, I'm not sure. I'm sure trying though. Slowly but surely, guys. Got Jim here today. Back at it. This part of hopping up and down this hole is getting old, I'll tell you that much. So here's what's going on. Got this beam supported down to the stringers. Then I welded these on. Actually, my buddy Calvin stopped by, and I suck at arc welding, so, and usually when it comes with arc welding, I have Jim here, or my buddy Mitch, or my buddy Calvin, which all have done a ton of arc welding, so I get them to do it. Currently, we're setting up this roller to pick up this transmission so we can bolt all of the mounts onto it, pick it all up, put these guys here underneath it, and drop it all down. Once that is done, we're gonna actually loosen this all off. We're gonna slide this over so it's straight, just like this. And this right here is what we're gonna do to get this from here to here. So as you see, nice hook, nice hook. I'm gonna pick it up, and then on this side, I think, don't quote me because not there yet, but might try to just do one in the middle, so this way the engine doesn't want to roll over, or something like that, or we're gonna cross the chains to try to get to one single one in the top here. But the two in the corners should help with that rolling effect. And getting this from here to here, that's the interesting part. That's where, because I'm in the water, we got to set up all the ballast. As it'd be very nice if I get that far with Jim today, because once the engine's slowly moving, somebody can be out there on the bow switching the ballast tanks from left to right and draining them and stuff like that, filling them to get the boat to start to lean the right way. Because when I experienced this by myself, pulling this engine out, the more you want it to go the one way, the more the boat starts to lean the one way, the scarier it gets when you're just on rollers. Ran into a bit of speed bumps. Things are going better now. Unfortunately, the tolerance were quite tight, so I had to break out the deburring tool here and ream her out, get them all reamed out. So, and then unfortunately, somehow I have a whole bin of bolts that I thought were for this, and the first one I grabbed off the bin was the right thread pitch and worked no problem, but the rest of them were not. So this whole thing of stainless bolts are the wrong bolts. That's the scenario there. What we are doing is tightening down all the bottom ones, and only use the bottom ones because they're tricky to get to once this transmission's sitting in place. Now we can get this transmission sat in place. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Third time's the charm. Forgot to press record, unfortunately, for you guys, so it wasn't really very exciting though. It literally fell right in place, and look at how close that shaft is lined up. It is sitting a little low, but we essentially just put it down, used a chunk of 2x4 to slide it around a little bit, and nothing's tightened up because we still got to drill our holes here. Now we can get this beam, we'll move it over there, Jim.
Yep.
And try to pick this thing up before the end of the day. Just like that. Beauty. So we got these bolted onto these, which are resting on the flange up top. Obviously tons of support going down. Now it's kind of nice, we also have a big stopper. So if crap hits the fan and this thing wanting to go this way fast, that should stop it. If not, it would literally have to shear those bolts. So 5,000 pounds, that might be a possibility though. But and then the biggest thing that's doing the most is this. So that is very tight. Then I have lots of foam stuffed between there, which is actually holding the ceiling up as well, because normally this is my support, and it's not doing too much right now. Time to come up with a game plan on making this go up. This is the plan, guys. Normally, you take these I-beams off, but it's kind of a pain. We do have this transmission sitting down on it, which the plan was to jack it up and block this side to be able to slip this off, use that side to hold it. But it looks like we might get lucky and be able to just sneak over this. And that's what we're trying to do. So we are going as tight as possible where it will still roll. And we're gonna see if we can get it over that. Either way, I don't mind it being up tight. This way, if the engine wants to clock or roll or anything, it's tight to that I-beam. Right now, we ran into one little problem though.
Did you lower that a little bit?
Pardon?
Just lower a little bit.
Lower?
Okay.
Got a couple hoses in the way. Might have to crack, that's a fuel line. You wanna see if we can crack this loose? What size? 5/8? You think it's 5/8? So again, on this side, we're trying to see if we can get this flange to almost sit in front or as close to. Well, that's as far as we can go right there. Until we're touching that.
What's
We
it
could.
look like underneath?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Not enough, we'll put it that way. But we could, if we can
Right forward.
see what we can do to rock it to get that out, or we get a pry bar to
Yeah.
get that to slip
You got
over.
the black one down there?
Yep, here's. I'm gonna loosen my end, and then what I'll do is if you can get it to go.
I'll hold it and tighten it in.
Yeah, I'll if you can get it.
Here.
You clear? Trying to get that flange over there, guys. There, might be a little tight pulling it this way, but now we will most likely have the clearance we need. We'll see what happens. Guys, time to start draining some ballast because I have a ton of ballast on the port side and this engine is, I would say, a foot away from being in the center of the boat now. Now we're just a mid-engine boat. That'd be pretty wild. One single engine 58-foot Viking. It would fit right here really well. Tons of space.
Don't think of it. No, we're not putting a third.
No, third engine?
No, third motor.
Triple motor. I like that idea. Triple. That sounds absolutely ridiculous and completely not responsible of me to try to do. Just like a small motor in the middle.
Yeah,
Like a single straight up and down six cylinder.
6 cylinders.
Yeah. We'll be a 30-cylinder boat.
30 cylinders.
All right, it's time to start moving some ballast. It's hot outside. It's muggy, raining, crappy day, but good day to be in the engine room, I guess. Just went out there, started draining the ballast tanks and moving them over and refilling them and kind of getting things set up. So now we're actually listing the opposite way. So as we pull the motor more to the port and we're already leaning quite a bit to the starboard, it should help balance so we can get a decent probably to this beam before I got to run out there and readjust things some more. So what we got going on has been working pretty good. So we're gonna keep on going.
I walk along the avenue. I never thought I'd meet a girl like you. Meet a girl like you.
Okay, we're hitting big time.
Oh, really? Oh, plan might be at a halt. Cleared one item.
Beam's probably sagging a little bit.
Yeah, I bet you that's what happened. Plan possibly coming to an end and having to still move this beam. Just came up to this one and started hitting. So it looks like might have to pop this guy off, brace the transmission, and slide this one out. We'll see. We're gonna evaluate things and get back to you. It actually took a whole lot less time than we were thinking. Got this unbolted and just sitting right here. And then still supported on that beam and wedged up over here. Now we have tons of room. Keep sneaking it by now. Some of the tolerances we're working with not hidden, but so try to lower it. Gonna deal with some ballast issues. The kind of dilemma we have with the whole ballast. Setting it up, draining it, moving it. It's you gotta go a couple inches and then let the ballast catch up or fill, things like that. So that's where we're at now. Ballast is currently all moved to the starboard side instead of the port side because the engine is obviously almost in the port side. By the looks of it, we got maybe 6 more inches to go, so the boat yoga is real right now. Whew. I felt the whole boat rock there. And we're on the vice grip. Guys, I think we're there. So the shaft is pretty much lined up. Transmission needs to tweak around a little bit. And that's the middle hole. And that sure looks almost a ½ inch out. But as we lower things, that's where we can adjust it. So now at this point, I'm going to ratchet strap this way, vice grip, so that the idlers don't want to roll or do anything. And then we can try to lower it down. And that is how you move an engine from the starboard to the port, being amateur boat builders. Whew, every time we get something done, it feels so exciting and you feel so accomplished. And then you remember there's still so much more to do. Like drop an entire engine in here. If that sucker is over there. Alrighty guys, so here's the scenario. Unfortunately, I somehow ended up screwing up my leg pretty good. She's pretty swollen. Probably can't really tell much, but well, I guess you can. So for the last 2 days, nothing has been done on the boat. Oddly enough, it has nothing to do with all the sketchiness of moving these engines over. Currently, the port engine is over, almost in place, and then this happened. So, been a little bit of a pause. So there will be a little bit longer of a pause because 2 things. I had a buddy of mine named Gus call me up and go, hey, I got to move a boat with one not working engine. I said, where do you want me to fly to? With that being said, I fly out tomorrow morning. I'm gonna go give him a hand. Hopefully kind of enjoy some time off, but it also works out very good because I'm looking at a 50-ton boat lift. Well, I'm hoping to, at least. In the talks and been trying to get a hold of the marina that has one for sale because I'm trying to buy a 50-ton travel lift. This way can essentially pull this boat out when needed and things like that, which would make my life a whole lot easier. That's a quick little update for right now. And depending on who gets their video out first, you might see me hanging out with Gus, because everybody watching this has definitely seen In Too Deep. And if you haven't, you need to. As of right now, I'll be gone for a couple days and I'll be back, and once I get back, the weather should be a whole lot better too, which will make things a little bit more motivating to get things done. All right, guys. I actually haven't seen you in almost 2 weeks. Been pretty busy. Been doing some work around the marina outside, so haven't been in the engine room at all. I'll show you later on what's happening outside. Ended up doing a pretty cool trip with the good old famous Gus, as you guys all know. Got back from that. That was supposed to be a little bit shorter. Ended up being a little longer. Ran into some issues, which you guys will see over on his channel. Then we got to the point, me and Jim here tried to line this bad boy up, and we ran into some issues. That sucker right here, it sticks out an insane amount, like 2 inches. Originally, when measuring all this, wasn't even thinking that, like wasn't thinking that was going to be a scenario that we were going to run into, and it ended up being exactly that. And all it is the oil drain line, or the oil suction for when you're changing out the oil. What we did is Jim cut up the fittings, I welded them up together, and we essentially just made a very short fitting, because it will thread into about there. So just probably 1 inch or 3/4 will be sticking out, compared to probably almost 2.5, maybe even up to 3 inches sticking out. And everything else is starting to look really good. It's unfortunately getting dusty from us working and things like this, but once it's all put together, we'll give her a nice shine and she'll look great. Another thing we ran into, which this one is upsetting, and I knew it when I started building it too, and I'm like, I shouldn't do it this way, but I'm like, no, I think I have the clearance. Something that's just so hard to measure until it's in here, but this is what it was. This stringer that I rebuilt really should have stayed this height. So if you guys remember, the bulkhead used to be here. Obviously I moved the bulkhead back here. The bulkhead used to be here. The stringer that's behind it tapered up just like this and stayed this height, where I should have continued that height all the way down. And I was thinking, oh, it's extra strength, blah blah blah, right? Extra little kicker. It's simply too tall. So I'll show you on the other side. And thankfully it's built out of Coosa, so what's going to happen is I'm just going to cut it out for now. I hear something sucking from the other side though, Jim. Turn the vacuum on and you can see exactly. Pull that off for a second. Look at that. No drain blood.
Different plugs. Different thread.
Awesome. Another issue. Alright, see if we can plug it. Trying to tape the drain out so we can figure out getting a plug for this. Jammed a random plastic plug in there. It's actually holding it pretty good. Going to be the plan. The plan is we're going to use this end, and we're just going to move it to the front, because apparently this port is different. This is a pipe thread on this side, and this isn't. I think that's what this block-off plate, you'd almost need that block-off plate to go down here. So we're going to build a plug for that, and we'll go to the other side. And what's happening over here, so you can actually see this edge is hitting the stringer. So I'm going to take some measurements and essentially just notch it out a little bit. Will it work? Absolutely. Will it affect anything? No, not at all. Will it be the nicest look? No. But you would almost have to be looking down under the engine, which is going to be pretty much impossible once the alternator and everything is here. And again, I should have just went straight with it. I guess that's essentially what happens when you're not a professional at this kind of stuff. Semi-professional, I guess. I'm going to try to pick this engine up, maybe scoot it out of the way just a hair, and I think I'm going to cut that out. Well, here's the sad reality, guys. There's the cutout. This way nothing will be interfering anymore. Gonna round that up, and later, not right now, I'll add some fiberglass to it. Maybe even just a thin layer of epoxy, seal it up, call it a day, put some paint on it. What's impressive though is the piece I cut off which I spent so much time sanding. Look at how thick that is. Look at the thickness from my thumb to that fiberglass. And then same with here. You can see where the old fiberglass is. Look at how thick that glass is. That is what I call a solid construction right there. Safe to say, even with this chunk missing, sucker's not going nowhere. Well, Jim ran back to the shop while I was cutting that other spot up and cut that fitting down, welded her shut. We now essentially have a plug, and we're going to put the line to that one, which actually makes more sense anyways, because the engine's going to be slightly a couple degrees, I guess, forward now, which means the oil will obviously drain further forward, so it makes more sense putting it there anyways. And hopefully she doesn't leak. Yeah, all snugged up. Now we'll put that fitting on that side, go grab a ratchet, see what we can do. We now, guys, have a whole lot more clearance between here and here. Time to try to get this transmission set back in place, but Jim's got to go, so that might be for tomorrow. I figured, guys, this would be a good time to introduce you to some people and show you what we got going on. So the reason I've been so delayed with working on the boat was because obviously I did the boat trip, and then trying to make it a little more awesome around here. So right here is a big dock, and we are building an overhang. We also got a second story deck going up. And this weekend, which will be a whole nother video, we're actually taking my buddy's 55 Ocean, which is going to be right here helping me build all this. We're taking it home through the Great Lakes this weekend. Let's go see what he's up to. This is Calvin. What are you doing, Calvin?
Raising the dock for our second story gazebo.
We are doing that. Some marine construction now. So this is Calvin. He's got the 55 Ocean.
Yeah, we're gonna go pick it up this weekend.
Yeah, I was just telling the people that. But what we had to do was, because of our second story, we talked with the marina and they said we could do it as long as we reinforce the dock. So thankfully, we know a guy that does a lot of metal work. Told him to bring over the welder, and that's what we're doing. Change of plans. Jim said, let's try to stick this bad boy together. So.
Oh yeah, that it had to come out a little.
Yeah, that
Now
does
my
make more
mouse
sense.
is a little closer right there. Oh, did it just slide in?
Yeah, pretty much did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. Cool. It's in.
Yep.
I'm in. Okay, that's all. It's right on.
Yeah.
It just has to come in a little bit because it's tight. When you tighten yours up.
Yeah. Well, can we put the bolts on?
Yeah, we can.
Two non-professionals got her together. Yeah, I'll get some bolts in here, and then I can actually drop the front down, and it'll be sitting approximately where it's got to go. How's that look?
That's how it lines up.
Yeah. And there's how that front mount lines up. Good space in the front. Well, this ends up looking. Right now, it actually has to go up.
What's that? The motor?
The motor.
Yeah, that's what it is.
In worst case scenario, guys, we'll put spacers under here. A lot of boats. The more I've been doing this, the more I've been paying attention to how every single engine in the marine industry has ever been mounted, and it's pretty common to just put spacers under these I-beams, that's for sure. So worst case scenario, we made it so we can go, because we can go up forever but we cannot go down anymore. Get in the trailer in the shop. Last time we dragged the engine out of the shop. This time we opted for a little easier way. That should be good there. This way we can pick this sucker up and drop her right down on the trailer. Trying to do some sketchy stuff with some straps, because unfortunately all the clevis and all the shackles are at the boat. But this is actually working. Seems like it's working good, Jim. Forklift companies love picking these up. There, you're good to move. Back up a hair and then just try to go right over the axis. So why it's so interesting is you can pretty much tell actually right away. Look at the size of the engine, look at the size of the forklift. This thing is only rated to pick up 5,500 pounds. And I'm not quite sure exactly what this weighs, but I bet you it's pretty close. And I was supposed to do this the last time we picked this engine up, but I didn't get a chance and weigh it. But this time we're gonna make sure we'll bring the big scale, which weighs 1,000,000 pounds as well. We'll probably just leave the straps on it. This way we can weigh it while pulling it off the trailer. It's been way too long trying to get this engine in. Struggled with a couple things like these threads because I painted them. So I just went through this morning and used a tap, clean them all out. I guess a dye technically to clean them all out, not a tap. Just get it strapped down, get it to the marina. Leaving the shop, that's the view. In about 5 minutes, probably even less, I'll be at the marina. We got it rigged up. Let's try to see what it weighs.
What does it weigh?
4980.
Oh, I was calling it 5,000 pounds.
Whew, guys, it's getting hot, but we're getting set up. So, just like before, sliding it on the forks, kind of looping it around. We put these straps just to help with it wanting to bend or bow, because they are 10,000 pound forks, but we're trying to scoot it pretty far to the end. Currently the forks though, because these are long forks, they're pretty much right to the edge of the engine inside. And then we just strap this bad boy in some way, somehow. And it just helps with it wanting to bounce because it is obviously at the end of the forks. But 10,000 pound forks, 5,000 pound engine, still pretty overkill on safety, which essentially it can't be too overkill, I guess. It's always better to be safer. And with this scenario, it's already crazy enough. So game plan is just like last time. Go from there, right into here. Probably won't film us actually going right in because it's going to be the exact same process as last time, but we'll get all the little clips, parts, things like that. Maybe set up a different angle for you.
You're gonna angle it in. Trying to stay close to the edge.
so far, pretty smooth sailing. Got the back hooked up, and now we got to hook the chain falls up to scoot it over a little bit. So this time we're learning. So we're just actually unbolting the cradle, and then it can swing free. So got the engine slid in there, looking a bit better. Starting to get things cleaned up around here, but found the piece of my bulkhead that got trimmed off. So Jim is gonna test out how strong the Coosa is. Oh, it's gonna slip off. I'm actually very impressed.
Yeah, we're doing great.
So that's how strong Coosa is.
Yeah, that ain't great. No.
And now all it is just the top piece of my bulkhead that I left long, sandwiched together with resin. And it's only about maybe 1.5 inches thick and 5 pieces. Just goes to show you how strong that stuff is. Whew, we got it back to the main dock. Just like this guy's carrying, finally can remove my ballast tanks. Or at least for right now, some of them. We're pumping them out. Gonna probably drain a couple of them, see what it looks like, see how level the boat is sitting the way it's at, and go from there. But it is exciting to be back on my main dock here, like my actual spot, which is currently a bomb because I just took everything out to get this motor put in, and see how level it's sitting. Yeah, still leaning a little bit, but still got a 2,000 pound I-beam. But it's nice to get some weight off the bow.